Okay, Greg Thompson with Accelerate Action Coach Business Coaching. Having a conversation today with Tom Perrine from Frameworks in Johnston. Tom, how are you today?
I'm great. I'm really good today.
Well, thanks for giving us some time to tell us about Frameworks. Let's talk about just about the business and what it is and what you do.
All right. Well, Frameworks, we are a custom frame shop and small art gallery. So if you're not familiar with custom framing, people bring art or objects they want to frame, preserve to us, and we create a frame so that it can hang on the wall, preserve it for a long time. That's our business. Now, the art gallery piece of it, we occasionally have local artists present art in our gallery. So that's something we getting back to. We sort of stopped it during COVID, but we're getting back to it. And we just recently partnered with Tallgrass Theater Company in West Des Moines. They have a brand new building and they have an art gallery in their lobby. So we have partnered with them and are helping them bring artists into that space.
Very cool. Okay.
Yeah.
How long has Frameworks been up and going?
Well, I've owned it 14 and a half years. It's been here longer than that. And it's been in this location, I think, probably 25 years or so in a couple different names, but I've had it 14 and a half years.
Wow. Congratulations. That's fantastic.
Yeah, it's hard to believe sometimes.
It only seems like 30, right?
Yeah.
So who is your target market? Who is an ideal customer for Frameworks? If somebody is this, they should be using you. Tell us about who that person should be.
Well, we don't, our target market really varies tremendously. Everything from, maybe a younger person who maybe is just starting out, has an apartment, starter home, and they want some art on the wall. We do a lot of that, all the way up to, huge family. Being in the business this long, I have framed their kids' picture, and now I'm framing pictures for them. So it's that sort of thing. But we're also, we do a lot of memorabilia sort of framing. People will purchase or get a lot of jerseys signed by a sports person. We do a lot of those framings. We do a lot of what we call memory boxes. Some people call them shadow boxes. People will have a bunch of different things from their life or their family they want framed, preserved. So we do a lot of that also. We just did a piece, a gentleman, I've done some stuff for him. His daughter was marched in the Rose Bowl parade. So we framed her uniform and photographs from that day. So, it's the target audience is anybody who really wants to preserve something and hang on their wall. And it really does vary tremendously.
Sure. Okay. So obviously you're around for the year that was 2020.
Yeah.
And the pandemic. Talk to us a little bit about changes, implementations that you had to do in your business in 2020.
Well, when we first realized, the pandemic was really hitting, we initially closed down just for safety reasons because we didn't know what was going on. And then almost all of our suppliers, not almost all of our suppliers that we get materials from, they all shut down all across the country. So we couldn't get any supplies. So, we were closed for a full 6 weeks, and then we slowly came back by appointment, that sort of thing. The supply chain has gotten better, but in our industry, a lot of the materials that we use, a lot of our frames, some of our mat board, it's all made in Europe. And so there's just been this backlog of trying to get things going. And oddly enough, in the framing industry right now, the hardest thing to get your hands on is a simple black frame. There are only a few manufacturers in the world that make them, and they are trying desperately to catch up. When everybody was shutting down, all the framers across the country used black a lot because that's what everybody had the most of. Well, now that hasn't caught up. So there's some delays in getting that. Plus, we've had some increases. Materials cost more. Particularly with the products we use, wood, that sort of thing, the cost has gone up. So we've absorbed a little bit of that at my shop, but being a very small, tiny one-man, 1.5 person shop, we do pass that on, but we're very open and honest about that. This is the reason it's costing what it costs. So 2020 was a big learning curve for a small business owner when this is my sole income. So when you're shut down, it takes a bite out of you.
Sure. Were there any learnings from that year that you have kept in place, any procedures or any processes or anything, any protocols that you thought, hey, this is a pretty good way of going forward with business, so we're gonna keep this in our business?
Well, we learned, we've always done this, but we learned even stronger to really respect the customer that comes in our door. Now we have relaxed our mask policy at our store, but we still get people that come in with a mask. So we respect that and we put on a mask. So that's very important. We really do respect our customer. We have also we put into place, when we order, somebody comes in and places an order for us, we order our supplies every week. And if we find out that something is on back order, we just call the customer immediately and inform them and say it's going to be longer. We've always called and been in communication with our customers when things get done, but now we are right on top of it, making sure that if there's going to be a delay, the customer is aware of that. We give them the opportunity to wait for that product to come in, or they can come into the store and change up something, do something a little different if they're in a hurry. It's in our business, you don't get too many framing emergencies, but you do get that every once in a while where somebody wants it for a gift or whatever. So we've kept that policy going, and we really do inform the customer where we are in the process. And also, we've always educated people why framing costs what it costs. And we'll invite them into our workshop, sort of show them, we really do build this here. And we've exaggerated, well, not exaggerated, but we've gone a little farther with that we really, because prices have gone up, we really do explain, this is why it costs. When you're shipping a 9-foot stick of molding, it's expensive. So we've just done all that, a little more education on our part.
Yeah, yep. I think everybody's kind of had to jump onto that education bandwagon. I agree. Yeah. I agree. So you've been around a number of years. Again, congratulations on that. There's a saying out there that smart people learn from their mistakes. Wise people learn from other people's mistakes. Is there one or two tidbits that you could share with us that you have learned over your 14.5 years that maybe you could keep somebody else from making the same mistake, or just some words of wisdom that you think could help other business owners and entrepreneurs in being successful?
Thinking over the 15 years, I've never made a mistake. What are you talking about?
I'm sorry to make that assumption, I guess.
No, when I bought this business, I bought it, if you think about this, 14.5 years ago, that was right in the middle of an economy disaster. And I left a job I'd had for almost 20 years to buy a business that I had no experience in. And all of my friends were like, are you insane? And I basically said, yeah, I kind of am insane, but I really want to do this. And so I've told people over and over again, don't be afraid to make the leap. Do your research. I did a ton of research into the business, into the whole marketing of framing, what it's really all about. And so I knew when I looked at the business to buy it, I knew that it was a good, solid investment to go forward with. So I took that leap of faith and built it up and went from there. And I do tell people, young people in particular, don't be afraid. And, or even an older person like I am, don't be afraid to change careers. If you're not happy with what you're doing or you need to do something else, that's not healthy. Get out of that. You know, I have truly one of the best jobs for a person like me. I get to be creative every day. I get to meet people every day. I work with my hands, you know, I build stuff every day. It's just interesting. So that's kind of what I tell people. The other thing that I learned over the almost 15 years of being here is don't be afraid to ask other people in the business what they did. You know, ask questions. You might think you've got the best idea in the world. Somebody else might have one that's just a little bit better or something you can adapt, or, you know, just steal that idea and do it. I kind of learned that the hard way. The first few years I was in business, I was like, okay, this is how I was trained. This is what I'm going to do. And I was very fortunate that I won a consultation with a national framing consultant. I entered a contest, one of those crazy things, click here, enter this contest. And I actually won the grand prize, which was a consultation with a gentleman. That was his job. And he came and visited me. He really showed me a lot of things that I just was not aware of. And so we were able, because of what he did for us, or what he advised me to do, we were able to weather 2020 because we put money aside. We made sure that we were all paid up with our invoices, all of that sort of stuff put us in a great situation when we went into 2020 and I had to shut down for 6 weeks. I had a cushion. You know, I could make it work. I could figure it out and I had a path. He even showed me how to set up when it comes time for me to sell this business or retire or whatever it comes. I have that path all laid out by talking to him. It was scary, to do, but it made so much sense. Get it all out there. Make sure you know what you're going to do. So don't be afraid to ask advice. Don't be afraid to ask around. It doesn't have to be even somebody in your industry, but somebody who owns a business. Man, they can help you just by conversation.
Great thoughts. Great thoughts. Thank you. So let's tell people how they can get a hold of you. How can they talk to you? How can they get to your shop? All that kind of good stuff.
All right. Well, Frameworks is located in Johnston, Iowa. We're on the main drag. We're right on Merle Hay Road. We're in the Village Square Shopping Center. You cannot miss us. We're dead center in the middle when you pull in the parking lot. We are open 6 days a week. You can come in. You don't need an appointment. You can just bring your art in. We will do appointments if you prefer. They can give us a call, 515-270-9142. We have a website, frameworks1.com. Just go out there, look for that. We're also on Instagram. We have a Facebook page. We have all of that stuff. Although I admit, at 65 years old, I'm not the best at social media, but I try. I really do try. So, you can bounce around on our website and see a lot of our work. We also do, when we do our art shows, we announce that there, that sort of thing. So we're pretty easy to find. Just come and visit us. I have a part-time designer now. For years, I did this all by myself, but I have a part-time designer, Kelly. So she's here. She's been with me maybe 6-7 years now. So she can give you just as much great service as I can. So come visit us, say hi, or just come and look at the shop. We are not afraid to show you everything, the back room. I'm in the back room now. I don't know what you can see behind me here, but my messy workshop's going on back here.
All right. Well, very good. Well, Tom, thank you very much. So we've been talking with Tom Perrine from Frameworks in Johnston, Iowa. Tom, thank you for your time today. And signing off, this is Greg Thompson, Accelerate Action Coach. And thank you.
Thank you. See ya.